Whoosh. 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 Whoosh.
In all seriousness, I've actually really wanted to make this deck, and it was on my list of things to do. It wasn't the next one that I had planned doing, but because of the comments, I figured why not? So this deck features the new BlackWarGreymon line that they revealed not that long ago. With the red and black dual color cards. But as soon as I saw the MetalGreymon with the inherited effect to be able to let any Dragonkin or machine type Digimon, specifically BlackWarGreymon in this case, attack unsuspended Digimon, I knew that I had to do it with the BT-08 BlackWarGreymon that I featured in my Blast and Disaster deck. If you haven't seen that, I'll link that up in the top there. But essentially, this BlackWarGreymon can function as a board wiper if you have the right cards, and up until BT-06 with the Blast and Disaster, there really wasn't a good way. Blast and Disaster does let you suspend all of your opponent's Digimon, and therefore you can then use BlackWarGreymon as a board wiper to get rid of all of the Digimon on the field, but it's really difficult to run a black and green deck, making it a really wonky deck. But as soon as I saw this MetalGreymon giving your BlackWarGreymon the ability to attack unsuspended Digimon, I knew it had to go with the BT-08 BlackWarGreymon. To start off with, the babies. I've got 3 copies of the Koromon from BT-05. When attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has Omnimon, Greymon, other than the 3 that they don't count, and its name, trigger draw 1. Of course, only good once you get into your BlackWarGreymon, or if you get into an Omnimon. Obviously, this is good for the BlackWarGreymon tribal that we're running, because once you get out of the Agumon stage, everything has Greymon in the name, except for one card. It's in there just because it's a dual color black and red. We'll get to it in a minute. And then we have 2 copies of the starter deck, Digimon, from the Gauntmon starter deck that hasn't quite come out yet in the US, but it will be here pretty soon. Your turn, once per turn, when the opponent's Digimon is deleted, this Digimon gets 2000 DP for the turn. This Digimon, you'll want to Digivolve into the non-board wiping BlackWarGreymon, because then it will be boosted once this BlackWarGreymon clears the field. But you could also build him with him to make him stronger, but the point of this BlackWarGreymon is to attack the strongest Digimon first, so you don't really need the DP boost. He should already be, by the time you get into him, by the time you're attacking, he should already be strong enough to clear off their strongest Digimon. After that, we've got the rookies. We're running 4 copies of the new Agumon from BT-08. He is he's Black Agumon, but he can Digivolve from red or black, which is why we run red babies. On play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with Greymon in its name, and 1 Digimon card with Dragonkin in its type among them to your hands. Return the remaining cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. So this searcher allows you to pull a Greymon evolution as well as one of your BlackWarGreymons. So very good searcher. Then we have in this deck, and this is the only card I think I would swap out if it doesn't work out. I haven't had a chance to playtest this deck yet. It really shouldn't be all that difficult, and it should work real well, but this card has to be hard played. But because of the way some of the other cards' effects are, I really think Reboot works well for this deck. So Toy Agumon that gives Reboot as an inheritable effect. He's could make this deck really, really good, but you do have to hard play him, so if he's too wonky, I would trade him out for like another Agumon, a red Agumon probably. Then I've got 3 copies of the BT-05 Agumon. On play, reveal 3 cards to the top of your deck, add 1 Digimon card with Greymon in its name, other than the 3 that don't count, and one Digimon card with Omnimon's name from among them to your hand, replace the remaining on the bottom in any of your deck in any order. So this one will also help you pull Greymon evolutions, as well as get the one copy of Omnimon Alter S that I have in this deck. If you come across it, that way he's not wasted. Sorry, it's 4 copies of that Agumon, my bad. And then I have 2 copies of the promo Agumon. While this Digimon has Greymon in his name, it gets 2000 DP. This is the one that you're going to want to Digivolve up with. Obviously, these two you want to mainly use for their on-play effect, but you can Digivolve through them. But if you can Digivolve with this one on top of the board-wiping BlackWarGreymon, that gives him 14k and makes it really, really likely you're going to be able to clear anything they have, unless they happen to be running a pretty powerful level 7, or something with a lot of DP boosting, but not likely. Up next is going to be the champions. We have 4 copies of the new black or blue Greymon that they call him from the BT-08. He is 2-cost evolution, red or black, meaning he can Digivolve from either our red or our black Agumons. And then he has an inheritable effect on the opponent's turn. While you have a red Digimon in play, this Digimon gains blocker. Hence the reason I wanted to run the toy Agumon, because he gives your Digimon blocker. Okay, so you could have your any of them, either Greymon that you play with or that you get into, or if you have them both, either way, you can board wipe your opponent, you know, take your extra security check, and then at the end of your turn reboot and use them as a blocker on your opponent's turn. That's why I wanted reboot in this deck, but again, if that toy Agumon is too hard, too wonky of a play, I would trade him out for a red Agumon. After that, we have 4 copies of the starter deck Greymon. He's the one that adds the security check on as an inheritable effect. Extra security attack, just good for, you know, taking out your opponent a little bit faster. And then the last one, we have 4 copies of Cyclomon. This is the one I was saying before that it's the only card in the deck that isn't part of the Agumon, Greymon, whatever line. But he's in here for consistency purposes, because he is red and black and can Digivolve from red or black. So if, you know, there wasn't any other options. If we, you know, we could run another Greymon, I guess, but that having more strictly red evolutions means you're kind of stuck if you're playing one of the black Digimon, the black Agumon or the toy Agumon. So having the red and black level 4 that you can Digivolve from red or black makes it really, really easier. The deck flows a lot better. So only card in the deck that doesn't fit the theme, but totally worth it. Next up is MetalGreymon. So we got 4 copies of the new one from BT-08 and 4 copies of the one from EX1. The one from BT-08, when Digivolving, trigger D-Digivolve 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon, and then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. Won't always, I mean, you're always going to be able to D-Digivolve unless you're playing against a Rookie Rush, but the 3000 DP or less deletion won't always hit a target. That's okay. What we want is the inheritable effect. On your turn, while this Digimon has Dragonkin or Machine in its type, this Digimon can also attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. That's what sets this deck off. Having this MetalGreymon underneath your BlackWarGreymon means you can just wipe your opponent's entire board. The MetalGreymon from EX1, this one when this Digimon attacks a player, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. Again, won't always hit a target, but it's cool to have. And then the inheritable effect gives this Digimon has Machine or Dragonkin in its traits, gains Piercing. Alright. We'll go into our level 6s. I'm running 3 copies of the board wiping BT-2 BlackWarGreymon and 3 copies of the new BT-08 BlackWarGreymon. BT-2, while your opponent has Digimon with 10,000 DP or more in play, reduce the play cost of this card from your hand by 6. Means if your opponent's already into a level 6 or particularly powerful level 5, or maybe a Loosemon, who knows, you can play this BlackWarGreymon straight to the field for 7 costs, which is not bad for a level 6. But what we're going for is, when attacking, if you attack your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP, unsuspend this Digimon. It's not a once per turn, but that's how you board wipe your opponent. You have this BlackWarGreymon with this MetalGreymon as a source, and now he can attack unsuspended Digimon, and you target the strongest one first. Alright, the BT-08 BlackWarGreymon. When Digivolving, if there is a red card in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, you may choose your opponent's Digimon. If there is a black card in its Digivolution cards, you may choose your opponent's Tamer. Delete any number of chosen cards whose total play cost adds up to 6 or less. So, essentially, you're going to build him with a two-colored Digimon, either the MetalGreymon, or a combination of the red MetalGreymon and like a BlackGreymon, or the Cyclomon. You want 2 colors under this Digimon so that you can take out maybe a Tamer and a Digimon. It's a total of 6, so you can take out like a 3-cost Tamer and a 3-cost Digimon, or you could take out a 4-cost Tamer and a 2-cost Digimon if they had it, or just 6-cost Digimon, whatever. Honestly, to me, taking out something with 6 or less is next to useless for taking out Digimon, because you're gonna get what, a champion off the field, because level 5s tend to be 7 costs or more, so you're really gonna get a level 4 off the field. Not that big a deal, but being able to take away their memory tamer, their 4-cost memory tamer that sets them every turn, so that you can memory choke them. Now that's a play. That's a pretty good play. There's not a whole lot going on with deleting Tamers, so this is actually pretty cool. And then on all turns, once per turn, when your opponent's Digimon are deleted, you can unsuspend this Digimon. That might be the only reason why I would use the one Digivolving effect to delete a Digimon. But at the same time, you really have to be Digivolving into him from a suspended Digimon, so you would have to attack with one of your MetalGreymons and then Digivolve into him, so that when you use the one Digivolving effect to delete a Digimon, you can unsuspend him. And I'm not really sure that attacking with a MetalGreymon is a good idea. They're only 8,000 DP, 7,000 for the one from EX1, so there's a good chance you're going to lose them in security check. So honestly, his effect for deleting a Tamer is more of what I would go for. You could have him, you could attack with him, right? Say go for a security check, or take out a suspended Digimon, or whatever, let them block, whatever you want. Attack with him first, and then attack with your BlackWarGreymon, the BT-2 one, and when that Digimon is deleted, unsuspend him as well as your BlackWarGreymon. And it sucks that it's a once per turn, because if it wasn't, it'd be a good combo back and forth. But it's okay. You still can get 2 attacks out of him using this BlackWarGreymon, so having them both on the field makes this deck extremely deadly. To wrap this up, obviously we saw the one Omnimon Alter S earlier. I picked him because he's the red and black Omnimon, and he works with the Searchers. And it's good to have, especially since when you get into him, you could wipe the field of a Rookie Rush deck, or de-Digivolve all your opponent's Digimon and just, set them back for a turn. For our Tamers, of course, we're running the 3 Nokias, and we're running 3 Izzy and Joes. Nokia, of course, because when you play her, you can play an Agumon from your hand, if you have one in your hand, but also when you go to Digivolve into a Greymon or the Omnimon, you can suspend her to reduce the evolution cost by 1. So she is fantastic in any Greymon deck. And then the Izzy and Joe are, in my opinion, the best black tamer there is right now, because when your opponent has 2 or more Digimon, you gain 2 memory. And it's just a flat 2 memory. And when does your opponent not have 2 or more Digimon? I mean, that's pretty much how this game goes at this point. You're pretty much going to hit this. When you get them on the field by turn 2, you're getting your extra memory. And the more of these you have, the more memory you get. And even if they choke you at 1, these guys set you to 3. One of these guys will set you to 3. So these are better than the memory tamers. And then to round off the whole deck, we have 3 copies of the new Dark Gaia Force. Choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose total play cost adds up to 15 or less, and delete all of the chosen Digimon. As a security effect, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 15 or less. So essentially, one of these guys can delete anything, just about anything. I mean, I think the new D-Reaper, that's a 20 cost, is pretty much the only card that this can't delete. Omnimon is a 15 cost. You can play this and delete a level 7 off the field, or if it comes up in security check, any of their Digimon are getting deleted. So this is just as good as Gaia Force. It's obviously more detail-oriented than Gaia Force. Gaia Force is just like, pick a Digimon, get rid of it. It doesn't care. This one, though, allows you to hit multiple Digimon. You can pick any number as long as it adds up to 15 costs or less. So, I mean, we're talking, you could delete 2 level 5s, an 8 and a 7 cost, or 2 7 costs. You know, you could delete a level 6 and, a rookie or something. It's whatever. It gives you options to delete more Digimon than Gaia Force does, and so this is actually a pretty cool freaking option card, and works great with this deck because it's dual color, meaning no matter what you have on the field, you will be able to play this. So I didn't have a whole lot of chance. I haven't had any chance to play test this deck. I've been extremely busy, and the guys that I usually play test with just were busy as well, and our schedules couldn't match up, so I haven't had a chance to play test it. So instead of showing you playtest videos, I'm just kind of going to give you the ideal scenario of what you want to digivolve, how you want to digivolve these up. Ideally, you're going to want to build this Koromon into the BT-08 BlackWarGreymon and the Digimon into the other BlackWarGreymon. Ideally, because Digimon only gives you the EX or the DP boost once an opponent's Digimon has been deleted, and so you don't really need, I mean, that's useless for this BlackWarGreymon, because if he's not already strong enough to delete their most powerful Digimon, then you're kind of out of luck, because then his entire effect is shut down. Ideally, what we would do is build Koromon into the Agumon that gives the 2000 DP boost. That way, our final BlackWarGreymon's at 14,000, and therefore can take out anything that isn't a level 7. The Digimon, you could digivolve into any. Alright, you could play him up as an Agumon, as a Black Agumon, or you could build him with the extra DP boost. Doesn't really matter. Any of the Agumons will work just fine that you can digivolve onto them. At the same time, if you can hard play a Toy Agumon, maybe if you can play it first turn, you can digivolve one of your babies into Agumon, so you get to draw and then end your turn by playing the Toy Agumon. That's a solid opening move, but you're going to have to hard play him. From there, you can kind of just whatever you want to do. Being that the BT-08 BlackWarGreymon is really used for board wiping, putting the security attack Greymon as one of his sources is almost wasted on him. I mean, yes, at the very end you can clear the 2 security checks at the very end of wiping your opponent's board, so if you want to, you can, but it's not, I don't know, it feels almost wasted, so it doesn't really matter. You don't have to. You don't have to have him there. You could build him up under the other BlackWarGreymon, right? But this Greymon, the one that has the adds blocker to your Digimon, that one would ideally come off of the Toy Agumon, because the reboot is perfect for having blocker effect, so you can attack and block on your opponent's turn. And then you absolutely, here I'm just gonna stick this one here because it doesn't really matter. You can do the Greymon, the Cyclomon, any of them, but you absolutely want to have the MetalGreymon that allows you to attack unsuspended Digimon on the source for the BT-08 BlackWarGreymon. That is what allows you to wipe your opponent's board. You can add piercing for this one if you wanted to, or this one, make this one as well attack unsuspended Digimon, because its effect works the same way. So if you use him with the MetalGreymon to attack unsuspended Digimon, and you delete that Digimon, you get to unsuspend him and attack again. So it works well that way. Or if you build him with piercing, it works great for the extra security attack, because now even if he's blocked, or even if you choose to attack one of their suspended Digimon, you still get the extra security attacks and you have the piercing, so you have the opportunity to take out Digimon and still get your attacks in. For your Toy Agumon line, it doesn't really matter. He's mostly meant to be a blocker, but you can do with piercing as well. And then Digivolve him into either one. Either one works fine. Depends on what you're at. If you have the piercing MetalGreymon, you have to pick the dual color BlackWarGreymon. If you've got the one with the attacking unsuspended, then you could Digivolve into the regular BlackWarGreymon, because he is a black Digivolution only. So just kind of depends on what you end up getting on there. This stage doesn't really matter. The whole idea for this guy is to end up with a blocker. So at this point, as soon as you have a level 5 on top of that Greymon, you now have a blocker available. So pick whichever one you want. This one obviously has 8,000 DP, making him a stronger blocker. But whatever you have available is all that matters, because you're going to end up getting into your BlackWarGreymon, and now you have a BlackWarGreymon that can attack and block. And then, of course, if you're going to put Omnimon on anything, having Omnimon on the Greymon that can block is freaking sweet, because now you have an Omnimon that can attack as well as block, and having a 15k blocker is freaking awesome. But it's whatever. Just whatever you have available to Digivolve into your Omnimon. There you go. That's the ideal lines. Of course, we all know when you're playing, you get what you get when you draw, and you can't always hit ideally. But if you can keep these two together, you guarantee to be able to board wipe your opponent. And if you can get a second BlackWarGreymon on the field, the two of them can combo off each other. You can attack with this one first, then attack at one of their Digimon with this one, so that you can unsuspend both of them. This one because you attacked the strongest, and this one because you deleted it. And now you have another set of attacks. And then you just keep doing that until your opponent's board is gone, until you have no Digimon left. If they didn't have a blocker in place, you got 2 security checks off of this guy, and then a third one off of this one. If you built him with the extra security attack Greymon, especially if you gave him piercing, well, now you're getting 4 security checks off of this guy, and a final security check off of him. There you go, guys. There's the deck all laid out. Let me know what you think. Obviously, like I said, this deck is not play tested. I haven't had the opportunity to do so. But it, like I said, is based off of a bunch of other BlackWarGreymon decks that I have seen. Especially a lot of people are already building decks with the new BlackWarGreymon line from BT-08. So I think it structurally is there. It's pretty good. The only thing I think I would change out is the Toy Agumon for another red Agumon, maybe a couple more of these guys, and then 2 other red Agumon. That would make it a bit more consistent on the rookie end, but the option of having a reboot blocker with these 2, especially if you can get that one into an Omnimon, just it's too much to not try it out. All right, let me know what you guys think. If you have anything that you think would make this deck run better, or anything you've seen or done yourself, drop that down in the comments below. This is the part where I do my usual spiels. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit that like button right down below. Consider subscribing to the channel. If you haven't done so, when you do subscribe to the channel, it gives you the option to turn on notifications. Turning that on allows you to know anytime I upload a new video. That way you don't miss out on anything that I make, and it makes it easier for you to come back and watch more stuff, and then I'm happy and I make more stuff because my dopamine levels are triggered by people watching my stuff and leaving comments, and it makes me want to make more stuff, and that's just how I am. If you're looking for other deck ideas, I have a playlist for different deck profiles that I've made. I do these on kind of on the semi-regular. So I'm sure I've got something you like, or I might make something you like here coming pretty soon. Also, I make custom playmats. So if you're looking and you're in the market for a new playmat like the one that has been here the whole time, if you missed it, go back and rewatch the videos. The video, I guess. But I do sell playmats on my own Etsy shop. I've got like a Gabumon and an Agumon playmat, the Bushy Agumon playmat, and then I've got a new one coming out pretty soon that I'm hoping you guys will like. It's featuring a Zulongmon, so keep your eyes out for that. The link to my Etsy store is in the description. And then if you really want to go an extra step in supporting the channel, I do have a Patreon. Link to my Patreon is in the description. Members of my Patreon, will get early access to special content when I do make special content, as well as shout outs to the videos. Of course, you get your name called out. Your name will also be in the end credits of every video as long as you're a member. And certain members get special little items like this. So I have these custom metal memory counters. It features Agumon and the Crest of Courage on one side, and Gabumon and the Crest of Friendship on the other. All you gotta do is be a rookie level or higher. It's rookie or higher in the US and Canada, and champion or higher internationally, because international shipping is expensive. So if you sign up for one of those tiers, you do get the free memory counter. That's the only way to get this. These are not for sale. So if you want one, if you think it's cool, I've had a couple of members already that have gotten them, told me they took them to their locals, and people have been asking questions about it, want to know where they can get it. Being my Patreon member is the only place you can get something like this. I made it special for them. I'm also in the process of figuring out how to make my own dice. That is that's a process. It's not as easy as I thought it would be. But these dice are what I'm looking to make. They are custom made resin dice with a little printed a little printed Agumon figure inside. He's all curled up, is sleepy looking. It's cute. It's also engraved with the Crest of Courage on it. So I'm looking into making some of those myself. As soon as I can work that out, they will also go up for sale. Hopefully I've offered something to make it worthwhile for you to hit that subscribe button. Let me know. Thanks for watching. As always, stay safe, stay amazing, and I will see you in the next video. Peace!